Hi, you guys. Welcome back to Inside the Hem. I'm Lindsay, and this is a first impression video. Simplicity finally released their summer patterns, and so today we're going to take a look at every single one of them. We will chat about some fit issues that might come up. We'll talk about fabric options. We will just kind of, gossip about just chat about the new collection as if we were sitting down and looking through the pattern catalog together. First up, we have this Mrs. Ruffled button front top with sleeve variations. Sizing, we have 6 to 14 and 16 to 24. Okay, so loose fitting top has button front opening, shaped hem, and ruffle detail. View A top is sleeveless. View B has long sleeves. View C top has short puffed sleeves. Okay, there was a time when I would have flipped out over this top. It's definitely something that I would have worn back in the day. My style has changed a little bit. It evolved originally during the pandemic, and now again something is happening. But you know me, I do love a ruffle. I actually made a button front top a lot like this View B. It was a ready to wear kind of like knockoff. I can't remember the original one. But I do love like a statement ruffle, and this is definitely speaking my language. So this one has it's kind of like a gusset, I guess, under here. I do like, I think, from what I can tell, this is rounded under here. Normally they come to a point and they're kind of hard to sew. So the fact that this is rounded is a little bit easier. But you have this large ruffle to make somewhat of a sleeve. You've got a ruffle in the collar. If you watched my Draper James series earlier this year, you know that's a big feature that they love to do. And then ruffles down the front as well. Ruffles on ruffles on ruffles. Here is, now is this not the version she's wearing just in a print? I think so. I think it is the same. And then here's the long sleeve version. And you can see here, this is where the ruffle is sewn in on the sleeveless version. You still have this, which I'm assuming is finished with bias binding. And then this seam here is where you add the ruffle. You could do some other interesting things with this seam besides add a ruffle to it. It's definitely got an interesting kind of style line detailing to it. Here's a short puff sleeve. Again with that seam there, and they only kept the ruffles in the neckline here. So from what I'm getting, you can do all three locations can have ruffles. Let's go back to, is this going to be the, yeah. All three locations can have ruffles, right? The bodice, the center front placket, and the neckline. Or you can leave these off and only do these. You could do these and leave these off. The neckband, I think you could leave the ruffles out of there. I'm not entirely sure that they'll give you those instructions, but basically instead of sewing the ruffle in there when you sandwich it in the collar stand, you just don't do that. You just sew a collar stand normally. So there are a few options here that would make this pattern kind of more of a value in making different versions that all kind of look a little bit different too. Okay, so here's the back. The back just has that collar stand, a yoke. It does have the inverted pleat. And then it's kind of long, which is, I guess, why they tucked it in the first time. But I appreciate that they showed us this picture to show you how long it is. It's definitely kind of like a tunic length. So good for tucking. All right, so fabrics, they're suggesting chambray, linen, poplin, taffeta, and voile. And if you got my fabric guide and cheat sheet download that I just released, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, you are learning about kind of how these suggested fabric sections come together. Remember, these fabrics are chosen based on the season that the pattern is released. So these are going to be very summer friendly fabrics, but you certainly don't have to make them just in the summer. What we're trying to do is look at what all of these things have in common and kind of zoom out on the fabric options based on the behavior of the fabric, the vibe of the fabric, more so than just picking exactly one of these. So we have a little bit of structure here with the chambray, the poplin, the voile. Some linen blends can have a little bit of structure to them too. Taffeta definitely has a lot of structure, but weight wise, we're definitely a little bit on the side of, well, voile is lightweight. Linen blends can go up to like the heavier side of lightweight. But all in all, for these types of structured wovens, the weight is going to be on the light to mid-weight side. Definitely not something drapey. You could do something drapey like a challis, but these sleeves will not stand up. They will not stand away from your body. They will fall down and in on your body, and you'll just kind of lose the whole point of this. So some other fabrics that you could use besides these would be like a seersucker, some kind of cotton blend. They don't even mention that in here at all. Definitely shirting. So think about those light to mid-weight structured wovens when you're looking at these suggested fabrics. All right, so for notions, we just have the buttons. So, I mean, buttons can be expensive, but you're probably going to use some pretty just basic shirt buttons for this one. So, not an expensive make. The fabric plus the notions, fabric's pretty basic, notions are pretty basic. It can be a pretty affordable pattern to make. And then we have finished garment measurements for the bust is all that they provided. And it looks like they have 7.5 inches of ease in the bust. Not seeing 7.5 inches on her. It does seem like a lot. 7.5 inches seems like a lot to me. I mean, maybe somewhere closer to like 4. You don't want this to be oversized. You know what I mean? So this needs to be pretty tailored. So using your upper bust measurement, do a little tissue fit. Make sure that the shoulder length here is not falling off your shoulder. We definitely don't want that. And that it's loose, through the bust, but not oversized. That's the big thing that you want to avoid with this one. But yeah, she's cute. Okay, I have to admit, this is not technically a first impression for me. Mimi has been posting about this on social media, so I accidentally saw it and didn't realize that it was from the new collection. So I have technically seen this one, and I do think it's adorable. So this is a Mrs. dress in 2 lengths. We have sizes 8 to 16 and 18 to 26. Fitted dresses in mini and midi length, has gathered bust, ties enclosed in neckline casing. So kind of like did you ever make the pillowcase tops or dresses? Kind of like that. Front button opening, front and back darts, and shoulder straps. And then they put the fabric suggestions right here in the listing. That's interesting. Never seen that before. So yeah, I really do love this kind of like milkmaid, is that what they're called? Design, this under bust seam with the gathering, and then you have the gathering through here. The strap goes through here. This one goes through here. They extend beyond the center front, and then they tie together. So it is a little bit forgiving when it comes to fit because you can, tighten this. This I think is open right here, right? And then the buttons start right at the rib cage and go down from there. We have some fisheye darts in the front. I'm assuming they're also in the back. This is a fitted dress, okay? We're not going to have a ton of ease in this one at all. At least not intentionally. So, but it is a really cute, sweet little dress. I like how it can go from day. Imagine if she had like sneakers or wedges on, and then this could be date night or a wedding or something like that. So lots of options there. So in the back, we do have darting in the back. It's not technically a fisheye dart because the back actually goes pretty low. I wish we had pictures of the back. Ugh. But nonetheless, you can kind of, I guess, see from here, this is probably in line, maybe a little bit above your bra. So you could do a strapless, but, and then we do have these shaping darts. And I'm sure the side seams are also shaped to give you that snatched look. So we've got chambray, cotton blends, gabardine, lightweight denim, linen blends. So very similar to the last one. Those light to mid-weight, pretty structured wovens. I think you probably wouldn't want to go too drapey and lightweight on this one because it's so fitted. Let me take a look at that really quickly. So for the interestingly enough, they're only giving us waist and hip. They're not giving us bust at all. And I'm assuming that's because there's so many gathers in the bust and then you tie up the top of it. And so remember how I was saying is a little bit forgiving in that area? That's probably why. So waist ease, we have 2.5 inches, and then hip ease, we only have 4 inches. So if you did a drapier fabric, it would just kind of cling to you in a way you might not love. But yeah, very fitted woven dress for sure. This one only requires buttons, just like the last one. So again, pretty affordable. These fabrics are affordable. Buttons don't need to be anything special. So you can get away with this one pretty affordably. No problem. All right. Cute, cute, cute. Love that one. Next, we've got a skirt, pleated skirt in 2 lengths and a belt. I mean, nothing really revolutionary about this one, right? Sizes 6 to 14 and 16 to 24. High-waisted pleated skirt has side seam pockets, invisible zipper closure, and length variations. View C has a belt. I mean, we've done it 1,000 times. This one does not have a separate waistband. The waist, I guess technically it's a facing that's on the inside. And then you have this one that has the little carriers with the self belt. So, I mean, if you don't have a pleated skirt for some reason and you need one, this one's not terrible. It is high waisted. I guess I kind of like it better that it doesn't have a waist seam. I don't know. I'm kind of here nor there on it. I wish that they wouldn't have used such a like fancy fabric. I would have liked to have seen it in something a little more casual for summer. Like she's definitely going to an event, right? This is some kind of boucle probably. Yeah, like a linen I think would be a really pretty vibe for something like this. But it's definitely one of those day to night things. You can definitely, make it out of the fanciest special occasion fabric all the way down to something like a linen blend, and, it would be beautiful in both. So you do have kind of the box pleats all the way around, invisible zipper in the back. I'm sure it also has pockets. Do we see yeah, there's definitely pockets there. Cotton blends, linen, novelty fabrics, and poplin. This is like somebody could have spent 5 more seconds to come up with some very specific fabrics that you could have used for this. But I think based on the photo, these are all kind of like that structured light to mid-weight again, but that photo had a pretty heavyweight fabric, whether it was boucle or taffeta. No, it wasn't taffeta. Boucle, you could do it in tweed, you could do it in gabardine, any of those like holiday special occasion fabrics. You can do it in, crepe back satin. I mean, there's lots and lots and lots of options. So beyond this, I would say that you could do it in anything structured, lightweight, all the way up to heavyweight. Just the heavier weight you go, the kind of fuller your skirt will get. Kind of. Yeah, because you could do like a taffeta, and that's pretty darn structured. The standing away from the body comes down to structure more than anything. But the weighted fabrics tend to have a lot more structure in them, I guess, is why I'm thinking that. You'll need a zipper for this one, and then one slide buckle. So again, pretty affordable. This could get like a little pricey depending on where you buy it. And then finished garment measurements in the waist, we have 2 inches. That makes perfect sense. So yeah, kind of a bit of a throwaway, seeing as, they definitely didn't have to like, be super creative on that one. And I guess because it's sandwiched between two Mimi G patterns that are obviously like focused on design and giving us something new, then that also makes it stand out a little bit more as just kind of like a basic. Okay, this is a knit top and skirt, 8 to 16, 18 to 26, age symmetrical. Knit top has gathers on shoulder, neckline, and 3/4 sleeves. Pull on mermaid skirt has elasticized waistband. Okay, so we've seen this little thing before, this little asymmetry. She's got some gathers here, and then the bodice hemline is curved. So it curves up on the sides and then comes down in the back and also down in the front. This is a pull-on skirt. We've got elastic in the waistband, but it's not gathered. The skirt has negative ease, and so does technically the elastic waistband. So that's what's holding it onto your body. And then it's got this little mermaid kind of kick out to it. This is definitely specific to a certain type of buyer. Not everybody's going to be able to or really want to wear this. But, I mean, it looks great on her. I think it'll look great on lots of different people if you have the confidence to pull it off. You go for it, right? Like, why not? Okay, there's really nothing about this, design wise to kind of pick apart here. It's just kind of a basic design. Like I said, the gathers, this asymmetry, and then the long sleeve and the curved hem. That's it. Elastic waist, center front and back seam, which you have to have in order to get this little kick out. So yeah, not much to say about it design wise. It does fit her beautifully. Let's take a look at fabrics. Stretch knits such as bamboo, interlock, ITY, jersey knit. I don't even know if it's worth getting on my soapbox about the pick a knit rule. Like, we need a ruler on here, or at least some percentage of stretch to help us. But everything is so in flux with the big four right now. I think I'm just going to leave it alone. You know what I mean? Like, let's just survive the year, and then we can start getting back on our soapboxes about what they're providing for us. But we should have negative ease here. So in the bust, yep, we have 1 inch of negative ease. In the hip, we have only 1/2 inch of negative ease, which is surprising. I'm not convinced that she only has 1/2 inch of negative ease. Again, it depends on the stretch percentage that you need. It's hard to say based on what she's wearing, but I would guess somewhere around the 50% range. So the higher the percentage of stretch, the more negative ease that you can have. You just have to make sure the fabric isn't so stretched out that it becomes see-through, right? Notions wise, we have clear elastic. Probably already have that on hand, and 1 yard of elastic for the waistband. Probably also have that on hand. So again, pretty affordable. And it's hard to talk about other fabrics when we don't have the stretch percentage, but definitely something on the lighter weight side. You could definitely use rib knit on this. That has a lot of stretch, but also a lot of recovery. Hers seems to have like a little bit of a silkiness to it, or like a little bit of a sheen to it. All right, next up we have a Mrs. skirt with godets. I do love a a skirt with godets. Sizing wise, 8 to 16, 18 to 26, easy to sew. Well, yeah, okay. Skirts have shaped waistband, baby hem, invisible zipper closure, and length variations. View A has contrast. So we've got a pretty deep waistband, probably 2 inches, and it's sitting below the natural waist, which is why it has to have that curve to it. So the bottom edge of the waistband is longer than the top edge. If you have like a super straight body, you're not going to want a curved waistband. You'll get that weird thing in the back. If you have a very curvy body, then you're probably really a fan of curved waistbands. But you have this seam here, and then this piece is like shaped so that you get this little doodad thing going. They definitely used a more structured fabric for this. I'm kind of digging how this one looks, where it's a little bit more drapey. Um, Let me see if we get other pictures of her. No, no, no. Well, I mean, it kind of looks pretty from the back. It's definitely giving that A-line silhouette. Invisible zipper in the back. Yeah, no other pictures. Let's see what they're suggesting. Chalet, charmeuse, and crepe. Okay, well, that's definitely not what they used for this. This is some kind of cotton or linen. So, I mean, yes, you can use this. That's fine. But the suggested fabrics are definitely lightweight and drapey, to give that center front piece kind of like, a lot of movement, but the skirt on the whole should kind of fall in on your body a little bit more than what's being illustrated in the pictures. All you need for this one is a zipper, and fit wise, they're only giving us the hip measurement, which I'm not even sure you really need to know that. You're going to base this off of the waistband. So I would be looking at like a 1 or 2 inch ease in the waistband. Something else that I wish that they would have shown. Let me how do I do this? This way? Yeah. I would have liked to have seen a stripe with this color block, but do pattern blocking, print blocking instead. A whole bunch of different stripes on this one I think would be really fun. Wait, is that what they did here? Oh my god. Okay. Well, for whatever reason, that didn't jump out at me like I thought it would. I thought it'd be a little bit more dramatic. It's not quite that dramatic at all, is it? Maybe because it's blue and white? Yeah, I don't know. But this doesn't have to be color blocking. It can be, print mixing as well. Dang, I can't I can't believe I didn't notice that until after I said it. I thought I had like a brilliant idea. I didn't. Okay, look at this. Mrs. Dress with petite lines. Okay, so instead of now calling patterns like petite, they're still calling them Mrs., but they're telling you they have the horizontal lines on them to where you can adjust for length for the petite girlies. Sizes 4 to 12 and 14 to 22. That's another thing you'll probably notice with patterns like, adjusted for petites, is that they will offer them in the smallest of the size ranges, which is what they have done here. Fitted tank dresses have scoop neckline, high-low hem, tiered gathered skirt, and invisible zipper closure. So fitted tank, are these, I guess it's woven. We have princess seams. No, it's just darts. The darts go way high. The darts are ending almost above her apex, which is interesting because I don't think she's petite. So if you were petite, then they would be like up in your neck. So, check the length of these darts. This seems fine, the arm side depth, so I don't think it's a length issue through the bodice. I just think that the darts are too long. But then you have this dropped waist on a curve with gathers, and then another tier, and then another tier. So yeah, it is pretty easy to sew, albeit kind of annoying because you have all those gathers. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, there's the back. So again, we do have, this is the, let me see something. Yeah, these are supposed to be curved, and this hem is also curved. Okay, I'm glad I checked that because it did look like, hold on, this was, oh boy, sorry, one more time. It did look like the hem in the back was longer than the front, and I was wondering if that was because all of this was too long, but I think it's supposed to be like that. So yeah, this is that is touching the floor on someone who is probably pretty tall. Invisible zipper in the back, and then these beautiful darts here. I love these darts. These can go this high. That's fine. Um, and then all the gathers. Yeah, I think the purple stripe is probably going to throw people. I wish. I also don't love this color blocking situation. I think an all over print would, like this one would be pretty. You'd still have all the movement. Then again, look at how high these darts are. I said that I thought that they were too long, but the long drawings are showing them that high as well. Why would they be that high? You know, unless they are fisheye darts and the bulk of what you're taking out is in the middle and not at the end. I don't know about that. I don't know that I want a dart ending above my bust apex. I mean, I guess on her, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm on the fence about that. I can't tell how I feel. In some ways, it does create, an interesting visual for the stripes, but the whole reason behind a dart is for shaping, and we don't really want a lot of shape to be taken out of there. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? That seems like a choice to me. Okay, so challis, cotton blends, and lawn. And then view B, the cutting layouts also allow for vertical stripes. So we've got everything from lightweight drapey up to lightweight structured. You could go either way. Just remember, the more structured the fabric, the more it's going to stand away from your body. If I had to guess, good Lord, I don't know what she's wearing. It does seem lightweight and possibly a little bit drapey, but I don't think it's a challis. It definitely has like a sheen to it. I don't know what that is just from looking at it. Maybe some kind of like satin or something. All you need is an invisible zipper for this one. And then finished garment measurements at the bust are 33 inches in the bust. And then in the waist, you have 5 inches, which I do kind of see how she could have 5 inches at the waist. You could definitely do less than that. I don't know. This one's got me kind of stumped. Like, I think I want to like it, but at the same time, there are a few things that are making me go, I don't know. It seems like one of those that you would actually make and then be like, you go put it on and be like, what happened? I don't know. This one makes me nervous. Okay, next up, we have scallop top, shorts, and pants. Okay, a scalloped waistband on pants. That's new. Sizing is 8 to 16 and 18 to 26. Fitted tops have scalloped hem, short sleeves, and sleeveless option. Shorts and pants have scalloped waist. All views have purchased piping and invisible zipper closure. So the scallop hem top, nothing new. We've seen that before. Super cute detail. The scalloped waistband, though, that also has me nervous. How is it staying up? We'll have to look at notions to see if there's elastic there. Also, it oh gosh, because the waistline is not a straight across line. How do you figure for rise and stuff? Like, how do you fit this to your body? And then the leg line, I don't know what's happening here with these shoes. It's supposed to be more of like a stovepipe leg, but yeah. I of course really really want to like this because I do love scallops. I love a crop top. I love a set. But this is strange to me. I guess it's kind of cool and different and unique. I just don't know how you would get that to fit. Yeah, let's look at the line drawing. Oof, that's unfortunate. What is happening here? You do have shoulder darts that are sewn not well, all these puckers on all of this. And then it does look to be a little too big across the back for her. And then you have this invisible zipper that goes to here. On these tops, I would much rather have just a keyhole opening. You don't need a full invisible zipper. This is not that fitted. But yeah, some issues here as well, causing these scallops to kind of like a duck, the back of a duck, how it like flips out. It's kind of like that. And also, do we like how you can see parts of your butt like that? I'm sounding like a prude, but yeah, these pants are not. I don't. Look how long she's standing on the hems, I think. Because they didn't put her in a high heel, which, okay, I appreciate that, but like, why are they so long? This part looks okay. The fit through the crotch curve looks all right, but yeah, I don't know. What is this? Definitely some interesting things happening with the fit on these pants, which makes sense because, again, I don't know how do they stay up? Invisible zipper for the top, and then for C and D, piping. That's it. A zipper to get for the a zipper and piping, and that's it. So there's not even any elastic. Like, is there even like a facing? Yeah, there has to be because of the piping. You would put that in that seam, but without any structure there, I just don't know how these stay up. That's my that's my only question, which is a big one, I guess. But fabric wise, they're suggesting cotton blends, crepe, poplin, and sateen. So all of these are pretty definitely structured and definitely closer to the mid weight side of things. Maybe, I mean, sateen, yeah, that's probably what they used on the version that they made up. Um, but maybe they're relying on the structure of these fabrics to hold the pants up. But if you're using a cotton blend or like a cotton poplin, that could like stretch out over the day and then your pants are literally falling off. I don't know. I want to like this, but logically, like common sense wise, the alarm bells are going off. And then we don't even get finished garment measurements on any of this, so I can't even really speak to that. But I just feel like you're walking and these are sliding off your body. I can't even say that during this little photo shoot that these haven't fallen down on her a little bit. See how much lower the pants are on this picture versus this one? This one, she hiked the pants up again because you can't see the top. So, oh man, I definitely think if someone were to kind of think about the waistband here, maybe adding boning or some kind of elastic in some way to make this actually like, snug onto your body. I think that this could be a super super cute outfit. Otherwise, get the pattern still if you like the scallops, but put the scallops on the hemline, not on the top. Or do like a waistband. Yeah, do a waistband with the scallops on top of the waistband. You just have an extra seam here, but at least that's like something structured, something that's not going to move, and allow it to stay on your body better. Yeah, interesting. Okay. Next, we have a little pair of shorts and pants, pleated shorts and pants. Again, something you probably already have in your stash, but sizes 4 to 12 and 14 to 22. Shorts or pants have faced waist. That's fun to say. Front pleats, side front pockets, and zipper flies. So basically what they did is they took that pleated skirt from earlier and they added a crotch with a fly front. That's what they did, which is fine. A little pleated short is super cute. This pleated short actually with the scallop top from before would be adorable. But this has like an actual facing that's sewn down. Maybe that's what those shorts are missing, the scalloped ones. Like something to ensure that that's staying onto your body. So maybe you could take this application and apply it to those, and then we'd feel a little bit better about it. But yeah, cute little shorts. Let's check out fit. Are we gonna get a picture of her backside? Yeah, okay. Um, Again, terrible execution on the darts here. Like, I don't know what is happening. And then for her, definitely too much fabric through here, which is why it looks like she has a wedgie. And then what is this hemline? Oh, I don't know what's going on with that either. It's obviously very wonky. Maybe this is some kind of like lighter weight fabric and it shifted as they were pressing it, maybe? I don't know. The design is really cute. Like, I'm sure the line drawings look adorable. Yeah, I love that there's four darts going across the back. Um, but yeah, and I like the shorts. I do. This maybe like little silky fabric that they used might not have been the best choice because all the illustrations look like more structured fabrics. Let's see. Lightweight cottons, linen blends, and rayon twill. Rayon twill. I bet that's what they used. Rayon twill can definitely give you a run for your money. I was trying to see if I could see the twill. Yeah, you can kind of see the diagonal a little bit through here, but it is kind of a beast rayon twill to just get behave like you want it to. So that's probably definitely what happened. It just got a little bit wonky while they were pressing it. And then they went to sew it and that wonkiness stayed. So that makes sense. So if you want it to be easier and guarantee like, perfect execution, use something more structured. Like you could have done, oh my gosh, you could do so many more. So these are lightweight, light to mid-weight, stable, like some drape, like rayon twill does have some drape to it. It's not like a challis where it's fully drapey. Like this is not a culotte. But some structure, some weight. So you could definitely do things like sateen. You could do for your like wintry fabrics, you could do jacquard, you could do tweed, all of that kind of stuff. But rayon twill is probably the drapiest that I would go. Even like a rayon linen blend, you could do that, but that's about as much drape as you would want. All you need is a zipper to fit this or to sew this. So again, pretty affordable in that regard. The waist has 2 inches of ease. That makes sense. And then the hip has 6-ish. So pretty roomy in the hip. It's a cute little short pattern for sure if you don't already have like some basic shorts like this. Okay, next up we've got, oh, okay, a Mrs. Blazer and skort. So happy to see a skort. I've been seeing them everywhere on the influencers, on boutiques and things like that. So I'm happy to see them here. 10 to 18 on the size range and then 20 to 28. So it is Mrs. and Women's. My gripe with Mrs. and Women's in one SKU number, I guess, is that we are missing still a bunch of sizes. So we don't have 4, 6, and 8 on the low end of Mrs., nor do we have 20, 22, 24, or 26. And then we're missing obviously all of the larger end of the women's as well. So it does seem like it's like, just because the sizes are larger doesn't mean it's more inclusive, because we're excluding some people, in order to accommodate having both of them in one listing. I wish they would separate them and still give us 10 Mrs. sizes and 10 women's sizes. Like, I don't see why that's a problem, but what do I know? Loose fitting unlined blazer has notch collar, patch pockets, 2-piece sleeves, back vent and length variations. Fitted asymmetric front skort has back waist darts, invisible side zipper, and length variations. If you saw my video on the Precious Fabric Challenge, this is very similar to that. I think mine has a dedicated waistband though. But you have this oversized blazer, which again, if you've been sewing for 5 years, I mean, we've been doing this for a long time. The only difference on this one is that they gave you a skort with it, whereas some of the other blazer patterns might have just had the blazer or, more of a suit with like a trouser with it. So as a set, it's pretty cute. I don't know what this is giving me, all kinds of messy. Hers looks a lot better actually. Um, but I do like the matchy matchy, but that's not to say that you couldn't just get a blazer from your stash and get a skort from your stash and make them out of the same fabric. This is a problem. I don't think this is supposed to be a drop shoulder. Well, I say that. Now this kind of does look like it's a drop shoulder. It doesn't say that it is, but between the blazer being unlined and drop shoulder, so there's no what's it called? Shoulder pad in here. And maybe also this pose, this just looks sloppy. But and then this looks super clean and crisp and structured. So definitely, I don't know. I'm confused. This one on her though, it's gotta be the pose. I'm sure they use the same fabric for both of them. There is like a ton of room in these sleeves also. Look how big that opening is. Yeah, and it is dropping off her shoulder, that's for sure. Notch collar. There's a button here, I think. Give us some more of the skort, please. More of the skort. Okay, there's the back of the jacket. Yeah, I think it's a combination of three things. One, unlined. Two, the drop shoulder. And three, this is too big for her. This is, I mean, a drop shoulder is one thing. This is like, this sleeve head does have some of that bell shape to it. It's not as pointed as that, but there is something there where this needs to be up like on the edge of her shoulder, not totally falling off of her shoulder. So yeah, way too big. I do like the two-piece sleeve. The vent is really pretty. I like the length of the skirt and the jacket being the same. And are they going to give us more of the skort? No, of course not. So let's look at the line drawing. So you have one dart in the back, and then this is sewn down here and just asymmetric. Okay. I cannot speak to the fit of this skort at all because everything that would, matter in terms of fitting is hidden from the skirt part and then the jacket covering it in the back. What is this? This chart looks so... oh, you know what they did? Instead of doing misses and then women's on top of it, they just made it all longer. Okay. Crepe, gabardine, medium weight stretch wovens. I love when they do this. This is taking all the guesswork. Everything that I'm explaining to you about fabrics, that's what this is doing. But like the person who designed it is telling you what to do instead of just me. Ponte, that's a choice, and twill. So twill could be stretch, right? Stretch twill. Other stretch wovens would be denim. Sateen can be stretch. I do like that idea because, then you have some extra movement in the short, but then it also holds up to the structure of the jacket. Crepe, it would need to be a mid-weight crepe for sure. And then gabardine, kind of like suiting. So yeah, that would work as well. Buttons and an invisible zipper. So again, pretty affordable on the notions. And then finished garment measurements are not going to be on the back of this envelope. So again, I'm not buying this pattern because A, I have no idea how those shorts fit, and B, you're not even giving me finished garment measurements so that I can tell, like, if I even fit into these misses sizes. Do you know what I mean? So that's unfortunate for them. Some things I can, there's a bit of a gray area. Other ones is just a hard no. Like, I'm just not going to invest in something that, especially for $16, that I have so many questions about. Okay, wrap top with sleeve variations, sizes 8 to 16 and 18 to 26. Wrap top, close fitting through bust, has collar, side closure, inside ribbon ties. View A had puff sleeves. View C has long bishop sleeves. So, wrap top, this actually does look really beautifully finished. There's a facing in there. It's sitting close to her chest. It's not gaping. And then we have this little, like, I don't, is there a collar stand? There might be a collar stand in there with a collar. Then you have the gathered sleeve. This is the one she's wearing, view B. She just has it in a drapier fabric, so the sleeves are not standing out as much. And then you have the wrap that's tying here on the side. And then there's some kind of ribbon in here that's also being tied. You can do it in a long sleeve with a dramatic cuff or straight across, kind of almost like cropped with view A. This is a really nice pattern. I don't think that this is going to do it a lot of favors. This is not the version I would have made, nor is it how I would have styled it to sell this pattern. But if you look beyond that, you can see how minimalist, structured, people who like things that are tailored, but also have a little bit of, something special to them, people that like avant-garde type of stuff are really going to be attracted to this, especially if they would have made, a matching something to go with it. That would have been really striking. But oh, this one also, VB also has these little side slits, which is cute. Bust darts and then a long dart through here. There's the kind of take on the basic button down. But it's not a button down at all. It's a wrap. Oh, okay. So we've got the collar and the yoke and the sleeve. All that looks great through here. What is this? Oh, it's actually little baby darts. Why? I don't know. Why didn't we take all this volume out? It's weird that there's like the yoke is close fitting and then a bunch of volume here and then close fitting and then more volume down here. But then also kind of close fitting down here again. That's strange. I want to look at the line drawings of all of them next to each other. Yeah, this is kind of a bizarre choice. I would extend them so that they reached from wherever they are now, maybe up to the bottom of the arm side, just to remove some of this extra fullness that's happening here. Either that or remove the yoke, something. Something's got to give with that. Dang, I really wanted to like this one. Chambray linen blends, poplin sateen. So you're getting a feel for this now, right? Like those light to mid-weight structured fabrics so that it'll hold up really to the sleeve. Ribbon and 8 buttons. And then at the bust, we have 2.5 inches of ease. And at the waist, I know they're giving us the waist, but the waist is tied. So you can adjust accordingly for your body with that. So, yeah, okay. Another one that's like, so close. So close to, oh, and then we have the pajama version. I mean, putting these side by side like that is definitely interesting. So pajamas, all the sizes are in one, extra small to 2XL, which numerically would translate to 4 to 28. Yep, and comfy pajama pants set. Comfy pajama set includes robe, shorts, and pants. Robe has collar, drop shoulders, ties, yoke, and back box pleat. Pull-on shorts and pants have elastic waist and side pockets. Okay, so this one, rather than wrapping underneath the garment, it's just like a little tie sewn into the side seam, I think, or maybe a dart. And then this one has like a little tie that comes out and they meet together and you tie them. We do have the full collar. There's also flat piping, which is an interesting detail. You've got the drop shoulder, or a better fitting drop shoulder than that jacket, that's for sure. And then you've got a very wide cuff here, almost as if you're wearing a button down with the cuff unbuttoned. And then it's basically low hip length. And then you have the shorts that have the large turn back cuff with the piping again. Why she's wearing wedges to go to bed, I don't know, but whatever. The flat piping here is really special. And if you've never done that before, highly recommend it. This is a great application for it. You don't have to use self fabric. You could do, a blue to contrast, or you could do white to make it blend in a little bit more. Um, this is a good little pattern. This could even be like a jacket or even like a button down that you wear out, with jeans or something. Pretty basic pull on short. It does have that cuff, which gives it a little bit of something extra, which is nice. This pattern has a lot of details. A lot of details. So there's the collar, there's the yoke. The yoke is all one piece, so it's kind of giving that curved look. And then, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of extra fabric here. You could add your own fisheye darts, I guess, if you wanted. But I don't know, it's pajamas, so you don't want it to be too fitted. There's just a lot of fabric here. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of really like, I'm a sucker for pajamas though. I don't know what it is. Like good, nice, quality pajamas that feel good on. There's nothing like it. Challis, which is lightweight and drapey, crepe, lawn, and voile. So lightweight, drapey, up to structured. Yeah, I think you're also thinking about like you could make it out of flannel, right? But you're thinking about summertime. So if it were winter and you wanted to make this out of flannel, you absolutely could. That would be a great option. So anything, um I mean, honestly, like just about anything under the sun that you would actually wear to bed. Like don't go make it out of wool. But anything that you're familiar with from your other pajamas, you could even do like a knit, like a little thin jersey. That would be fine as well. Um, the ease on this is going to be pretty significant. Yeah, 10 inches in the bust and 8 in the waist. I'm sorry, in the hip. So you could do a jersey. It just won't be like a fitted jersey. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, pajamas are my new jam. Sewing pajamas, pajama patterns. Like I think every summer collection so far, there's been a pair of pajamas in there where I'm like, oh, I really need those. Okay, Mrs. and Women's together in one again. We've got a button-up shirt. This one is 10 to 18 and 20 to 28. Loose fitting shirt has front button placket, long sleeves with button cuffs and continuous lap opening. Continuous lap opening in the sleeve. Oh yeah, long sleeve. Okay. View A has patch pocket and shaped hem. View B has front tucks. So if you're asking me, these are two totally different tops. You could definitely make each of these versions and people would think you use two different patterns for them. It is, at the end of the day, another button up top. But, I mean, I don't know. The pin tuck one is really cute if you don't already have a pin tuck version. I don't know. That's what's convincing me. It's like, well, this is what you were buying, really, right? And then you also get this one. So basically, you get two different bodices. There's a lot that can be done with that for sure. You can make many, many, many different versions of this top in different fabrics, and you could hack it, either one of them, either version. So, yeah, good value there, I think. The fit on this one, do you see what I mean about that pajama shirt? How it just was too much fabric through here. This one's a little bit better. It is very long, again, tunic length again. So if you're not tucking it in, you probably want to adjust for that. Not my favorite look. And then the continuous lap is also not my favorite way to do this. I would much rather have a, oh shoot. What is it called? Not a placket, not a, you know what I mean? The actual thing. Is it a placket? It is a sleeve placket. Yeah. That. I'd much rather have that. Um, this version in this kind of like sheerish fabric, I don't know. I kind of really like that too. That makes it very fun. It fits both of them wonderfully. The shoulder looks good. It's not too bulky. I think it's a pretty good fitting pattern, albeit not anything really revolutionary, but chambray, cotton blends, cotton shirting, linen blends, poplin. Yeah, all of your, again, structured fabrics. You could actually go pretty drapey on this one. Definitely the plain front one, you could go like a silky button up is, you know, you've seen and heard of that before. The pin tucks would just be harder to sew. It could be done if you use like some spray starch or something to stabilize it, but it would just be a little bit harder to manage. All you need are buttons on this one, and then finished garment measurements are not going to be provided online. But yeah, I don't know. I don't hate it. Maybe the bar, after looking at the rest of these patterns, is so low that I'm just like, whatever. Although here we are, and now I'm in love. Wow, what a roller coaster we're going on with this collection. It's like the most basic basics, and then like something like this out of nowhere. Okay, Mrs. Halter dress in two lengths, 8 to 16, 18 to 26. Halter style dress, bias cut, my absolute favorite thing in the world. I'll say it every single time. I don't care how curvy, lumpy, bumpy, whatever your body type is. Bias cut is magical, and this dress will look phenomenal on you, even if it's really kind of more fitted than what you're used to. The way bias just hugs your curves in just the right way and hides and minimizes all the parts you don't want to see, it genuinely is magic. You pull it over your head, not even a zipper or a button in sight. Even better. Keyhole detail in front and elastic at back. Perfect. Views A and B have decorative bow. What a little gem. So you have, similar to Mimi's, this little underbust seam. This one is, well, hers is much more pronounced angle. These don't seem, oh, you know why? It's too big on her. Was this the same girl in the jacket? No, that girl was blonde. Either way, I think when we look at the back is going to scoop down. Whereas when we made it, we would make the elastic tighter to fit our actual body better. And so this angle is not what you would achieve. You would achieve something a little bit more subtle like this. There also seems to be like just a lot more gathers here than on here. Like these two things are not matching. But you can see the bias here. That's what's giving it this little beautiful little hem. And again, it's just hugging and hiding in all the right ways. They've dressed it up here, but I see this as a casual look. Pink and black. Oh my gosh. So cute. This is the little keyhole. Underneath the bow, I wonder what happens. Okay. So the halter just kind of scoops up under there. Yeah, you could definitely tie it like, not in a knot, but you know that like, you know when you like hook two hair ties together and it makes that little knot? Like that. Or you could like put a bead here or something, like string a bead through it, or any kind of like brooch, or like, I don't know, maybe a seashell, not a real one, but like, you know what I mean? Some kind of like adornment here other than the bow. That would be really sweet and pretty. All right, there she is again. Give us the back. Okay. So yeah, you can tell this is a little bit loose on her. They probably pulled it up for the picture too, but this is gonna want to be pretty tight. I also think it wouldn't be, what's the front look like again? Let me look at the line drawings. Hold on. So if the side has this, you could extend this seam across the back and then this whole thing so that you get even more like, I don't know, security, I guess, through the bust. That way too, you could add cups to this. You could add a like interior shelf bra. You know what I mean? You can get like a little bit more security if you're not normally super comfortable in just a halter top. Just extend the, I guess, waist seam through here. It would be a different look in the back, but I think it would still work and be really cute. But yeah, adorable. And then also I was looking at these, and I don't know about you, but I think it would be pretty easy just to add a little crotch curve here in the front and in the back, and then you'd have like this really cute jumpsuit. I wouldn't do the jumpsuit on the bias, but you could just rotate it and change the grain line and then do like a little jumpsuit out of it too. Or a little play suit. Oh my gosh. Okay. I think this one's definitely going into my cart. My ideas, the wheels, you can probably hear it in my voice too. Like I'm getting really excited. I like this one. Okay, crepe back satin, I was going to say, can be a little bit warm, a little bit like not breathable. So if it's like humid where you are, you probably want to avoid this. But some silky types can have quite a bit of breathability to them. Rayon is a good example of that. So yeah, this one's adorable. And then it is lined. I imagine that's for the bodice, like the front bodice only. So again, you could add cups in between those two layers and give yourself a little bit more coverage, which it would make you feel more comfortable probably. All you need is elastic. And I bet that view A is, yeah, 1 5/8 in the largest size. So, you do good enough pattern Tetris, you could maybe get that down to 1.5 yards. You do need a little bit more for the contrast bow, so keep that in mind. And then finished garment measurements. In the bust, we've got 4 inches. That feels like a lot, but I think if we look back at this, the bust line is kind of where that elastic is. It's really hard to measure a halter top at the bust line. So whereas 4 inches does seem like a lot, that elastic is going to be doing a lot of the work. And then the waist and the hip, they do give those finished garment measurements. The waist is going to be, 7.5 inches. And the hip is going to be 6 inches. So you can play around with that a little bit more. But remember, we've got the bias cut. So that's what's going to be, helping it kind of fall into our body where it needs to and stand away from our body where it also needs to. Also, on that note, knits on the bias, I don't know that you need to do that, right? Knits on the bias, have we ever seen that? I don't think it's a woven fabric thing. So just keep that in mind. Okay, but super cute. I'm obviously obsessed, so stay tuned for my version of that one. Okay, now we also have this number, Misses and Women's in 2 links with petite lines again with the petites. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Sizes 10 to 18 and 20 to 28. Sleeveless bubble dress, has turtleneck or mock neck option, contrast gathered skirt and invisible zipper closure. View A dress has ruffled detailing at hem. I was at Aritzia a month ago, maybe, and literally they had this exact dress. This was a knit, like a jersey knit, and this was a cotton. They've paired this with some kind of like shiny taffeta or something, but it can still be casual if you were picturing it in like a cotton non-shiny fabric. But this was all over that store. They were obsessed with bubble hems. Now, this having like the bubble and then an extra thing, I haven't seen that. I've only ever seen this. This is giving diaper? If a skirt could be a diaper. But this is all over the stores right now, so it is very, very, very much on trend. It has the petite lines. Yeah, drop waist. It has the cut-in shoulder, which is really nice. You could change up this neckline a million different ways, depending on, what you think is more comfortable. They've gone dressy with this, but it can definitely be a casual dress for sure. Yeah, I don't know about the bubble plus. Right? Fit-wise, it does seem to fit both of them pretty well. The only thing on her is, why is it... I know why it is. Someone didn't sew this in the best way possible. I'm trying to be nice. The gathered part is smaller than this part. When they attach these two things, this is smaller than this, so it's giving that little thing. They just gathered it up too much. I've made that mistake before. It happens. But I think with this Ponte fabric that they used, plus this, I don't know, something weird is happening here. But you also don't have to do a drop waist. You could raise this up if you wanted and just extend the length of the skirt, or have it be a mini skirt too. So if this isn't, I don't know that I would look great in a drop waist where the seam is like at my high hip. I can't say that would be the most flattering thing for me. I'm much more of a high waist person, but if low to mid rise things look good on you, by all means. By all means. Okay, stretch knits only for the top. So cotton knits, interlock, jerseys, rib knit. It says see, pick a knit rule. Again, we've been over that. I'm assuming, again, we've got like a, well, I don't know. She's in Ponte. That makes me think it's like a 25% stretch. Ponte's not stretchy. I don't know for sure that's what they use, but it did look a lot like that. And then in the bottom, you can do cotton blends, poplin, and taffeta. I want to say the ones that I saw were all like almost like a cotton shirting, like really, really inexpensive. So my favorite cotton jersey is the midweight cotton jersey from Stylemaker Fabrics. It comes in seriously 5,784 colors. And then you can find a cotton shirting to match. They might even have one. I don't know a ton about their solid wovens, but you might even be able to find something like that there, and they can help you match the colors. But the matchy was definitely what they were doing in Aritzia, and the dresses were like almost $200. Crazy. Okay, so you do need, you'll need the elastic for this little thing, an invisible zipper. But again, well, invisible zipper for this one, absolutely, because of the mock neck. This one, if it's not made out of Ponte and it does have enough stretch to it, you could just pull it on over your head 1,000%, and you don't need any of these zippers. Finished garment measurement wise, we do have negative 2 inches of ease in the bust. Okay, so pay attention. Yeah, that makes me think that this pick a knit rule is actually going to be more than 25%. It's going to be 50 to 75, I bet. And then in the waist, we have 1 inch of positive ease. Yeah, this one's cute. It's on trend. I can't say it's something I would buy simply because I don't know where I'd wear it. I would wear it to Target. I would. I could put it with a little flat and rock that out. But it just feels like, I don't know, it feels like a lot for me. The version of me that exists today. Back in the day, though, I would have killed it in that. Okay, Mrs. and Women's dress in 3 lengths. This is fun. 10 to 18 and 20 to 28 again. Fitted dress has lined bodice, pleated skirt, straps with back button detail and invisible zipper closure. Straps with back button okay. Dress comes in midi, and ankle length. View B has contrast at the bodice. Okay, so the stripe is doing all the work here. They happen to pick a 1 inch wide stripe, which is exactly the width of the pleats. That's why it's looking like so visually interesting. And honestly, way more expensive than it probably is. All we've got here is a squared neckline, center front seam bodice with a dart, and then a waist seam with a pleated skirt. That's all we've got. If we were to go look at these line drawings, right? So they picked a fabric. This is the opposite of what happened with that other pattern. They actually picked a fabric on this one that made it look more interesting and more complicated than it actually is. So kudos to them for that. And they've definitely dressed it down a little bit. I like that they have the girls modeling together. Super sweet and a solid color for sure. And then you can do a contrast bodice with the stripe again if you want, or you can do it all striped. Here's the back. This probably has, well, it doesn't. It only has the one buttonhole, but you could add more if you wanted to make it adjustable. Invisible back zipper as well. Here's her version. A little bit longer in the strap. Like more of this is hanging down. But yeah. So, cotton blends, linen, poplin, seersucker. See, 1 inch vertical stripes to achieve the look in the pictures. Thank you for saying that. But this vertical stripe should still be some of this like pretty stable, albeit lightweight fabric. Very comfortable dress to wear. Easy to make. Yeah, this one's a great beginner friendly pattern. 1 invisible zipper. That's it. Oh, and buttons. Yep, buttons. And then fit wise, 2 inches of positive ease in the bust and 1 inch in the waist. Yeah, easy peasy, straightforward, and looks great. Looks really expensive. And like I said, you'll sew it up in an afternoon. Okay, so next we have, where are we? We're down here. Please tell me this is pajamas. Nope. It is a collared dress in 3 lengths. Oh boy. 6 to 14, 16 to 24, very loose fitting pullover dress, has drop shoulders, polo collar, concealed front snap closure, and side seam pockets. View C has high-low hem, side slits, and wide hem facings. Yeah, it's just, I mean, honestly, the illustrations are better. What is happening here? What do I not like about it? Well, first of all, I don't know what's happening here. Secondly, the fact that it's going down and then out, that's not what's happening here. The illustration makes it look like this. So that's doing something funky. And this collar is just so big. It's like swallowing her. The collar's big and this is very wide. So it's giving like hospital gown, but if you were in the hospital for a while, like a mental institution kind of thing. Like I said, that's cute. It just wasn't executed well. What's going on here? Actually, the back looks a lot better than the front. Yeah, again, it's doing this. Can't honestly say why. And then you've got the box pleats here, actually, giving it all the volume. I do like the deep hem. It would just need so much work, I think, for me to, well, that looks smaller. The illustration, when the illustration and the picture don't match up, or the line drawing and the picture don't match up, I get nervous. Like, do you see how wide that looks? That looks like 2 inches wide. And I know this is just an illustration, so we can't, like, fully place our bets on it, but that doesn't look like 2 inches to me. That looks way smaller. And to adjust this to make it smaller, I don't know that I have the mental capacity for that. So, nonetheless, we are looking at Chambray Linen Blends Poplin Seersucker. Again, pretty stable. Light to mid-weight wovens. That's been the kind of theme of this entire summer collection. Breathable, easy fabrics, 3 sew-in snaps. Again, that's also a choice. Snaps? Okay. And then it's going to be very loose fitting all over. I'm not even going to go over those. Yeah, it's just too many question marks with the drag lines here, with this doing this funky thing, with this just being so big, and also what is happening here. It's just too many questions for me to be able to invest my time or energy into it. All right, next we have a vintage. Getting into the vintage finally. This is a halter and strapless bodice. We've got 6 to 14 and 16 to 24, 1950s halter and strapless bodice pattern. The fitted strapless bodice in view 1 is styled with a wide sash joined to bodice at side seams. Yep, you can see that here. Huge little bow. Huge, big bow. Wraps around waistline and ties in front. View 2 may be worn with or without straps. How do you do that? View 3 is a halter. All views have side zipper closing and side seams are open 2 inches from lower. I don't fully understand how you just don't use the straps. Like, where does it go? Where does the strap go? This one I understand. I got you. This one is supposed to have with or without straps. So where did the strap go? No explanation. Does the line drawing explain it any? Hold on, let's look at the bigger ones. This one, yeah, like I said, fully understand. Love these darts. It did say that, right? View 2 may be worn with or without straps. Oh, they button on the inside. So you just take them on or off as you please. Cute. But I like this one. I like the grown on strap a lot. Like a lot, a lot. Like, would buy this pattern for that a lot. Let's look at the back of the envelope. Chambray cotton rayon. It is also a woven and not a knit. So the fit is fitting. That's view 1. View 2, lengthwise striped or plaid cotton, piqué, rayon, satin, shantung, and taffeta. View 3, denim, lengthwise striped, plain cotton linen, piqué. Okay. I like how they give them all different fabric types, but they're still pretty much the same bodice through and through. So all of these that are listed, you could just make any view with them. 10-inch separating zipper, a little bit more expensive. Hook and eyes. 3 yards of featherweight boning. They did not put boning in this. That's not 100% necessary. I guess it depends on where you're wearing it. It is strapless, so you would want it to stay up. But if you're going for a more casual look, like a denim or something, you could definitely skip the boning. It just might not stay up on its own fully. I don't know. This one with the strap, though, you could tie that in a way that acts as like your support and holds it up. But view 2, yeah, she might need a little bit of help. Okay, so finished garment measurements. View 1 and 2 bust is different than view 3 bust. So view 1 and 2 has 1.5 inches, and view 3 has 3 inches. Interesting. And then the waist have 2 inches. So yeah, she is fitted. She's fitted. But this one, freaking adorable. Adorable. I'm feeling good about that one too. I mean, it's very specific, but I don't know. Something about it is like speaking to me. I don't normally go for vintage patterns either. Okay, this is a 1 pattern piece bag. Okay, we're going to skip the bags. And then, oh, here's a 1-piece jiffy dress. These are fun to sew and super, super quick sews. Sizes 6 to 14 and 16 to 24. 1960s 1-piece jiffy dress pattern. Simple to sew dress with lowered round neckline. I like that this is considered a lowered neckline. Gathered skirt, extended shoulder lines. So it's like a grown-on sleeve. Grown-on little cap sleeve. Back zipper closing, self fabric or purchase belt. Okay, so you've got 3 pattern pieces, front, back, and then the skirt is a square or a rectangle. Honestly, this is how all these fit and flare dresses should be. Pretty easy, straightforward. The bodice is so easy to sew. You throw in the darts. You don't have to worry about a sleeve, probably a facing here, and you just call it a day. The longest part of this is making the gathers. Yeah, and it's super cute, and it looks like you spent a lot of time on it. Chambray cotton blends, cotton, satin, crepe, georgette, jersey, lightweight wools and blends, PK, silk shantung, silk synthetics and blends. See how far we've regressed in terms of sewing patterns? We used to get all of this, and now you have to kind of like play a guessing game, and it's just so frustrating. And then finished garment measurements, we have 4.5 E's in the bust. Yep. And then 1 in the waist. All of that makes perfect sense. So yeah, if you're tipping your toe into vintage, this is a great way to do it. You get that vintage silhouette, but it's really, really easy to sew. Okay, now we're skipping costumes, skipping babies, skipping toys, skipping dolls. Here's one. Oh my gosh. Hello, cutie. 1-piece bathing suit and skirt. 8 to 16, 18 to 26, 1950 1-piece bathing suit and skirt pattern. The bathing suit has a fitted bodice with a ruffle trim, narrow shoulder straps, and a short flared skirt. In version B, the bathing suit is strapless. The street length skirt is separate. Version C, the bathing suit has narrow shoulder straps. The separate street length skirt is of contrasting fabric with a large cuffed side pocket. What is a cuffed side pocket? My gosh. Bathing, like going out to the pool was like the whole thing. So this is the bathing suit, guys. This puffy thing. And then you can also sew it with this circle skirt on top of the puffy thing. And then you can make this thing to go on top of the skirt that's on top of the puffy thing. This is that pocket they're talking about. Wow. I mean, I don't even know where in the world. Maybe like the French Riviera. Like, where are we going where we need all this action for a bathing suit? I'm like at a loss for words in a good way, I think. I don't know. Okay. Okay. Formulate thoughts. So this little sweet ruffle is so cute. This little detail in the center front, so cute. From the waist down though, I think, having a bit of a conniption. Like, I just don't. There are some girlies these days, I'm thinking of Paige DeSorbo especially, anybody that's wearing those like micro mini shorts who would wear this as like an outfit out on the street. I'm interested to see what kind of fabrics they're recommending, I guess. The fact that there's no like the short, puffy short thing, the gathered short thing is what you swim in. When that gets wet, it's like a wet diaper, saggy, wet diaper, right? So we're not supposed to be getting it wet. Okay, I can appreciate like more of the bathing suit instead of a swimsuit. I understand that. But like, who are you that your life is so exceptional that you actually have not only the time and energy to make a literal bathing suit, but that you also have somewhere to wear it? I'm not wearing that to the apartment pool. It has to be a vacation, right? It has to be a vacation, and it can't be to just like Myrtle Beach. Oh my god. And it is woven. Chambray, gingham, linen, piqué, and rayon. Okay. First of all, I need to go back. Bathing suit. So we bathed in woven rompers back in the day, in the 50s. It's not swimsuit fabric, which actually makes sense now because they probably didn't have that back then available to the home sewer. Okay, so I think I need to like erase the idea of this being by the pool, or at least anywhere close to the water. Like maybe if you're in a cabana, maybe if you're, beachside restaurant, private club, not even club, private, what would it be called back then? Private, country club type of place. And then the skirt over it, and then when you go to dinner, then you just put this on, and you've had, the evolution of your day is shorty shorts, short skirt, long skirt. I'm sorry, street length skirt. Wow. Okay, what a journey that one took me on. So a zipper, elastic, boning. Who's bathing in boning? Optional. Yeah, you think? And then a zipper and hook and eyes for some of the skirts. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, finished garment measurements are going to be in the pattern. Let's look at these real quick. And again, erasing from our minds that this is made from swimwear. Imagine this in a cotton or some kind of chambray or something. Like, I don't know about the bloomer. I want to love the bloomer. I really, really, really do. But I think my thighs are sending signals to my brain that are telling me this just is not going to work. But something about this over this makes me feel like I could pull this off. I don't know. But also, like, this skirt by itself, or even this top without, like, just hemmed at the waist, I don't know. That's kind of cute. Maybe I'm going crazy after looking at so many basic patterns that I see something that's like a little bit exciting and I'm like, yeah, for sure, 100%. That makes perfect sense for my life. But I just want to avoid like making another boring button down shirt. I don't know what's happening. Oh. Okay, here's a 1940s jacket, bra, and shorts. Okay. 4 to 12, 14 to 22. The slim shorts are fitted with darts in the back, a side closing, side entrance. Oh, this is where it gets complicated. Side entrance pockets and side entrance pockets, meaning your hands enter from the side or your body enters from the pockets. And turn back cuffs are featured. Style 2 may have a purchased scarf slipped through the belt carriers at the waistline. Okay, thanks for the styling tip. The dart fitted bra buttons down the back and features wide shoulder straps. A bias fold trims the upper edge. Okay. The front buttoning jacket fitted with darts has short kimono sleeves trimmed with cuffs. Okay. So we've got a pleated cuff short and a very little crop top. And then this little jackety thing. Okay. I can't believe this was 1940s. I don't know why. I just don't picture like women of wait, hold on. I'm going to show how dumb I am. 1940s, that was prohibition, right? No. Oh, no. Don't just ignore that. The fact that this buttons up the back though, it makes it a hard no for me. Like if I can't dress myself, I'm not getting it. I'm not buying it. I'm not making it. Like I'm not wearing it. I don't want assistance getting dressed. We're not there yet. There will be a time for that when I'm much, 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 much older. It's not now. Either way, though, chambray, cotton broadcloth, fail, linen, piqué, poplin, shantung, shark skin, spun rayon. Okay. And then a whole bunch of notions, actually. Zipper, button, seam binding, shoulder pads, all kinds of stuff. And then no finished garment measurements. I think there's somebody out there that is going to look so freaking cute in this. It's just not me. It's just not going to be me. Would I wear it to Target? Well, if I can't get it buttoned by myself, then no, I probably wouldn't wear it to Target. So there's that. Okay, and I think that's it because this is girls, and then this is last season. So that is Simplicity Summer. Genuinely a roller coaster of patterns from everything like unmentionable that I just want to erase from my mind all the way to things that I will be buying, things that are very trendy and popular, and then also your basics for the newbies out there, I guess. The newbies, the people just building their pattern stash. But I want to know what you think. Leave it in the comment section below. This wraps up all of the summer collections from the Big Five. So that's it until we come out with early fall. I will see you all very soon. Okay, bye.